today's video is going to be my October palette roundup, where I'm showing you guys all the palettes that I've used in the month of October, and I also share with you guys the looks that I have done throughout the October as well. So I hope you guys enjoy, and I hope you guys stick around. I do have an entire playlist of all my palette roundups. I will of course leave that link down below. It is the first ever series I started on my channel, and I continue to do it, and you guys continue to love it. As I am currently filming this, it is November 1st, except I have pre-filmed already like 6 different collection videos, and I already have them scheduled and stuff. So I'm not sure when you're going to see this video in particular. I'll throw it in there somewhere, but I am filming this on the 1st, and I also want to share with you that if this came yesterday, this would have been included. I have now the Blend a Bunny Sugar and Grunge palette. This one was decluttered to me from my friend Steph. She doesn't make any YouTube or Instagram posts recently. She's kind of taking a little bit of a hiatus, but she decluttered this to me. So I'm really excited. These 2 little pans are hers, but there's still plenty of product in here. I cannot wait to use this. This is not on my eyes, if you can believe it. But this palette will definitely get lots of use in November. I wanted to share with you guys that I did get it, but I did not get it in October, and I did not have the chance to do a makeup look with it in October. But I still wanted to show you guys that I have it. So in these videos, I share with you guys all the palettes, but I also give you some stats. So I wore makeup 25 days within the whole month of October. That's pretty average to me. Well, average for me is more or less like 26 to 28, but 25 is still fine. I got 3 new palettes in the month of October, not including Sugar and Grunge, that will be in November, but I have 3 new palettes in the month of October, and I used 19 total palettes in my collection, so we'll just get on into it. This is my first new palette of the month. Well, it technically was my last new palette of the month, but the first one I'm going to be showing you. I do have the Cosmic Brushes Neutrals palette. I love the look, first off. I am a colorful makeup wearer, but I also love and enjoy neutrals, and this is like a sultry neutral sort of palette. I only have done 1 look because I got it at the very tail end of October, and I'm super excited to do more looks with it. I pulled out the What's Up Beauty Geodes palette. I did do a reels/shorts with this. The reels/shorts I did with this wanted to show a very simple and easy, like everyday sort of fall inspired look, and I think I did that. I really enjoyed this palette. I love the quality of What's Up Beauty. I think they do an amazing job, and mine is pretty well loved and well used. So I'm really happy about this specific palette and this specific look. And this look, or the reel or short or whatever, is the reason why What's Up Beauty now follows my Instagram, which that's really exciting. I pulled out some of my fall palettes from my fall palettes video. So I have Unearthly Lore. So this one, I really enjoyed this one. This was an extremely simple look. A lot of you guys really liked it. I think really all I did was I put this green shade all over the lid, and I put this orange in the crease. This is very similar to a palette from Fancy Cosmetica that I also own, but I could not get this look out of that Fancy Cosmetica palette. So I really enjoy this palette, and it's very similar, but it's also a little bit different from what I have from Fancy Cosmetica, and I loved this look. I'm not going to show you guys the photo for this one, but it was through a singles Saturday. So I did use a single that is in my singles collection here. So I actually did a look all using this red shade, and I used a palette alongside of it. But the only thing I have used in this palette in the month of October was this red shade. I also mentioned it in my red eyeshadows video. And of course, any sort of video that I'm mentioning, of course, is linked down below. I am calling this my Andie palette because this is a Lethal Cosmetics palette, and all the shades were like picked BYOP through Andie or Makeup from the Mundane, and I just love this palette. It was decluttered to me, and I did this really cute, simple, bright, pastel-y sort of pink look. I still need to reach into the greens, but I just love pink eyeshadow. Like, I love pink eyeshadow. Of course I'm wearing blue today, but there's a lot of pink eyeshadow looks and a lot of neutral eyeshadow looks this month, and this was one of the pink ones. It is beautiful. I love this palette so much, and I'm so glad that I have it. Speaking of blue eyeshadow, I did use both of these palettes once for this nice blue eyeshadow look. So I used the Magic Mini by Juvia's Place. This one was decluttered to me through a friend on IG. I used some of the bluey, greeny looking shades. I really enjoy this finished look. Juvia's Place has some really nice eyeshadows. And then I did use my ColourPop Going Coconuts to kind of fill in some gaps because there isn't really a whole lot of transitional shades in this one. So I used this one to kind of help it out a little bit. I think these pair together lovely. Pulled out my Fancy Cosmetica Druid palette. This is the old packaging. Half of my Fancy Cosmetica palettes are in the old and the other half are in the new. The old packaging is not as nice as the new packaging. The new packaging is this stunning stained glass sort of thing, and all the pans are magnetic. I like to take quite a lot of inspiration from my shirts or like my entire outfit in general. I wore a green sweater, so I did a grungy, you know, swampy sort of green look with this palette. I loved this palette a lot. This look, well, this palette, I did use another palette with it, but I think I really only created this look because I needed to use this pink glitter in my project pan. So this is the ColourPop Lost in Wonderland palette. This is a lovely palette. I love having it in my collection. It is a little bit more of a companion palette. I like to use it with other things. With this look, I did use the pink glitter, and I think I used this pink to kind of blend everything out. I love this look. I love the deep pink cranberry. I'm just a sucker for pink eyeshadow. You guys know this about me by now, but this is a really lovely palette, and I created it alongside with another palette for this look. These here are my last two palettes that I used one time, and I forgot to mention I used 11 different palettes once. So I have ABH Norvina. I did do a Throwback Thursday with this palette, and I kind of talked about, you know, do I really want to keep this palette? Do I really want to have it in my collection anymore? It is getting older, and you know, the quality is a little declining a little bit. The expectations of this towards some of my other palettes, especially indie branded eyeshadow palettes, like where does it fall? Does it belong in my collection? And we also talked about adult friendships in that Get Ready With Me as well, so I'll leave that down below. I really like the end look. Do I like it enough to keep this long term? I'm not so certain, but I do want to use it a little bit more in the month of November. I don't see this being a Christmas, December palette, but I do want to use it a couple more times in November just to make sure it belongs here or not. Then the actual last palette that got used once in November was the ABH Sugar palette. This one here I used in that single Saturday video alongside that red single eyeshadow. That video will be linked down below. This is also in a project for No Pan Left Behind, so this will be getting more use throughout the rest of the year. I have used 5 palettes 2 times. This first one is the Unearthly Sorceress Smoke. I love this palette so much. This was decluttered to me from my friend DW. I'll leave her link down below. Let me tell you, I have always heard so many good things about Unearthly, and I'm like a 50-50. Like, you know, some palettes I've liked, some I haven't, and this is really the only one at the end of the day that I really wanted, and I finally have it, and I'm not surprised that I love this so much. So it is, you know, neutrals with a little pop of green. It is a stunning, beautiful palette. I like the formula of it. It's just amazing, and I really enjoy this palette. The first look here is a very basic neutral look. This is all over the lid. This is in the crease. Really isn't much going on with this look, but sometimes you just want a nice, sparkly, everyday sort of eye look. And that was totally the vibe here. I woke up late, but not too late that I couldn't do makeup. So this is a 2 and done eyeshadow look. And then this look I am using, did I use all 4 of these greens? I can't remember, but I definitely used the greens. I loved this look so much. Like this green, like these colored greens are beautiful. I love them so much. They're not as smoky grungy as the Druid palette that we saw earlier. It has a lightness to them. It has a brightness to them. Or maybe it's just the shimmer that I put all over the lid. I have no clue, but I love this palette so much. I am so happy, so happy that DW sent it to me, and I'll be forever grateful. I used my Ghost Town USA palette twice. So this is that palette. It has the, what is this called? Lenticular packaging. This is what the inside looks like. This palette is the reason why Nomad kind of knows who I am. They saw a video that I did with this palette, and from that I was able to get a code with Nomad and also get PR, or like a one-time PR thing from them. The reason why I have not continued to get PR is because I do not have people using my code. So that's the reason why I have not gotten more PR from Nomad. You're supposed to have so many people use your code, and I have not hit that guideline. This palette I have a love-hate relationship with. I did do a Nomad ranking. That was in, I think I uploaded in October, but I actually did all my looks in September, or did I do the video in September? I have no clue. I've lost track of time. I have a love-hate relationship with this palette, and I talked about that in my Nomad video. This look here, I wanted to try and do a really basic eye look that isn't utilizing these neutrals. So I think I actually used some of the greens. I'm not so certain how it's gonna come out like on the video, but when I'm looking at it, like it doesn't really look all that intense. It looks pretty natural, and then I use like a red lip sort of thing to kind of tie it together. I do like this palette. I don't love this palette, especially as much as a lot of other people do. So this one got one use there, and then I also did a spooky palette bingo, which we'll talk about more as there's more eyeshadow palettes involved. But I did do a spooky palette bingo, and this one did get some shades chosen from it. The Gourmand Girls Haunted here also is the same story. One of my looks came from the, what is it called, my spooky palette bingo. I literally just said spooky palette bingo. Like, why could I not remember? I have 2 shades out of this palette in that look. And then the last look, you guys really didn't think this palette was Gourmand Girls Haunted. I loved this look so much. So I did use these 2, which they look very similar in tone, but you can blend them out. And then I used the shade. It's like a green, not a green, it's like a blue to purple sort of thing. It is super dimensional in my opinion. So head on, it looks bright blue. And then, you know, the contours of your eyes, it looks a little bit purple. I know I really enjoy the brightness of this eyeshadow, and it's just a beautiful eyeshadow. I really wanted it to shine by putting it all over the lid, and I didn't do a whole lot else after that. And I think I put it on some of the lower lash too, or maybe that's my eyeliner catching the light. But this is a lovely palette, and I played around with the idea of doing a 3 looks 1 palette, which honestly, I thought I did more looks with this in October than I did. I only did 2. My next palette that got used twice is my Glamlight Michaela palette. Really enjoyed this one. So I did a really basic, like warm, neutral sort of vibe. I definitely used Buffalo Chicken. I just really enjoyed this look. Oh, and my favorite shadow is Glow Up here. It is like a peachy sort of color. It's gorgeous. I actually pulled this out for this specific look, the one that I used with the color pop, Lost in Wonderland. I did use this with that palette, and I'm like, I really should use this again. I was like, I want to use it again and again and again. So this one got used twice. Unfortunately, I didn't get any more use than that. I wish it would get a lot more use than just twice in a month, because this has a little bit of everything. This is gorgeous. I love this palette a lot. Glam Light quality is really good. And I think I can make so many different looks out of this palette. And I really loved this in conjunction with that ColourPop palette. Another one from my fall eyeshadow video. So this is the Adept Heather Austin. This is my one and only Adept palette. I got this decluttered to me from my friend DW, and I did 2 different looks with this. I really like, they look so similar. The 2 looks look so similar. You either have a look that looks like this or a look that looks like this. You really don't have much in between, I don't think. So it's just a difference in shimmers. This first look, I can't tell you what shimmer I used. Like, these shimmers are nice, they are. They're really pretty, they're nice and smooth and buttery, and they go on the eyes with no problem. But I can't, like, they're nothing special to me. There is nothing special to me about this palette. And I like the look, I do. And then this other look is a little bit more of a purpley vibe. I think I used the shade, and I can't remember the other shades, but it's a fine look. I mean, I really like the look, I do. It's just that they all kind of look the same. They all kind of look the same, but I like using it to make a look. I used 2 palettes 3 times. This is another one of the new palettes in my collection. It is the Blend Bunny Lure palette. This is lovely. I bought this secondhand from Katelyn House Makeup on Instagram, and she also has a YouTube channel, so I'll link her down below. But I have been using this so much. So I've used it 3 times in October. This is actually the palette that I have on my eyes today, so you're gonna see this in November as well. So I have 3 looks with the Lure. Blend Bunny, especially their older palettes, like Lure here, you know, Sugar and Grunge I really like. I love the look of Surge, and I hope I can get my hands on it soon. But a lot of their older palettes still have my heart. Like, these are palettes I've been lusting after, and I have been looking at Lure in particular on Mercari. I guess it just hasn't been one of those situations where it came at the right price, and Katelyn was selling her palettes for a very, very, very reasonable price, and I got this for 20 bucks, and I thought that was the really good price. And this palette is stunning. I'm sure there is some similar colors to Sugar and Grunge, but this one feels a little bit different. So the next day after I got this in the mail, we went to like a pumpkin patch, and I really, really wanted to use this palette, although it is not pumpkin patch vibes at all. So I made this look. Was this look very good? I didn't think so. And I was not a big fan of this look, but I love the next 2 looks. The next look, I used the green column. I have a love-hate relationship with Blend Bunny and the rows here, the columns. Yeah, their columns are up and down, not the rows. Anyway, because I feel like I'm stuck in a row. Like, I feel like I'm stuck in a situation here. So this first look, I did green. This next look, I used purple, except instead of this, you know, to blend stuff out, I used the pink shade to blend stuff out. So I tried to go a little bit different, and it did turn out a little bit more pink. Really enjoy that purple look. But then for today, I kind of did a little bit of this blue row and a little bit of the green row. And I thought that looks pretty nice. I am a fan of this eye look as well. So I have used this quite a bit already, and I am really, really enjoying it. The last palette that got used 3 times was my Nomad Witch City Salem. This one was also featured in that spooky palette bingo. So I have 2 other looks to share with you. I did get this for free from Nomad through their Starfish program. And I don't count this as PR, I count it more of a giveaway because I had to be nominated to kind of win. So this one I did get sent for free. I just want to be transparent with you guys. So this look here was a really pretty purpley sort of vibe. These are my colors, people. The colors. I love the purple, the pinks, the neutral, stuff like that. So the purple I love with this look. So then this is the palette I actually wore in Halloween. Like, come on now. And then do you guys love my sweater? I got it from Torrid in my one haul video, but the Witch City Salem, or the Salem Witch City, or whatever I call it. This one, of course, I had to use on Halloween, so of course I used this yesterday. And I kind of went with an orange-purple vibe, so I used the oranges, I used the purples, I used the black, you know, the classic Halloween colors. And I love this look. It looks really, really pretty, and I love it with my suede terracotta orange cardigan thing. I was really a fan. And we're just gonna have to keep on going with the dog barking because my fiance's home and I gotta wrap this up. So I used my last and final palette 4 times, and this is the last palette that I have gotten in the month of October. This is in collaboration with Betty Jean, or Batty Bean here on YouTube, and it is a stunning palette. I bought it the second it launched. This was also featured in that video, the multi-palette bingo. I used this 4 times total in the month of October. This look here, my blue and my purple, I did in a short video. Then I did this really dark, sultry blue look. Not a big fan of this look. It's a little bit too dark for my liking. And then I thought I had another one. Oh, my red eyeshadow. I used this in my red eyeshadow video, and I did a little get ready with me there. Those were all my palettes that I used in the month of October. I'm sorry the ending is so quick and soon, but I did use 19 different palettes. 3 of them were new, and I wore makeup 25 days in the month of October. If you guys are new to my channel, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. I love and appreciate you guys all so much, and I shall see you guys next time.